What's up, everybody? This is Jason from Straight Edge Knives. Hey, I got another video for you today, and this is a good one. Well, I think they're all good, but that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. You let me know in the comments. But today we are going over a production slash somewhat custom knife from North Edge Tools. Dustin over at North Edge Tools, if you guys don't know who he is, he makes his own little series of knives, which are pretty damn cool. He actually sent me one called the Osprey. We did a whole review video on that, and we actually gave that knife away over on Instagram, which was a fun venture. And since then, you know, me and Dustin have been talking quite a bit back and forth because we're both knife makers. And awesome guy. He makes some really good tools, and he has a blade called the Ghost, which is a Tonto style blade. It's about a 4-inch blade. Very cool looking blade. And anyway, he ended up sending me a picture about somebody had requested about maybe possibly making a longer one. He sent me a sketch of one, and I was like, hey, you know what? You need to shorten that handle, and it'll be bam, perfect, right? Sends me back another sketch with a short handle, and I go, if you make that, I will buy it. And he made it. It was his first attempt, so he calls it the Ghost XL. I have it, and it's freaking badass. And I am super excited to show this to you guys. And this is, to say this is the first one he made like this, and I think he did a phenomenal job. And this is also probably the biggest leather sheath he said he ever made. But check this package out, guys. Look at this leather sheath. For that being the first time he's ever made a sheath this big, I think he did a bang-up job. I mean, this thing is slick looking, very, very classy looking. I had him put D-rings here and here so you could carry it Baldric style. There's a D-ring here so you could put a leather belt dangler loop through here, or you can even run it through here and carry it on your belt, normal. Has a snap retention here, so it's kind of cool as you can either kind of pull it out the back, you can come straight out with it, or you could pop the snap off and then kind of come out like this. Either way, very cool sheath. I think he did a bang up job, you know, awesome. But guys, check this out, man. This is the Ghost XL. I mean, he did some rock texturing on the back of it there, if you can see that. Oh, man, looks beautiful. Let me check my camera. Yeah, looks like you can see it. Awesome. One thing I did do is I sent the handle scale material to him. This is a Paisley handle scale material that I got from Rock Solid Scales when I was at Blade Show in Blade Show West in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I really loved the pattern. I thought it was really cool. And I was going to put it on a knife that I was going to make, but then I was like, you know what? I bet you that would look so sweet on this Ghost XL. Send it to him. He put them on there, and it looks phenomenal. Got white G10 liners. You can see he did like a rock texturing on the handle scales as well. I think it overall just added to the look of this blade and made it, I mean, this has its own distinct look to it, and I think it's really, really badass. Guys, this thing, if you can see, I wear XL gloves, fits my hand just perfect. For this size of a blade, it is so light and quick. I mean, this would be a awesome backpacking, hiking. I don't want to say it's a machete because it's thicker than what a machete would be, but it's also thinner than like some of the larger chopper blades. So, I mean, this is a good compromise between lightness and weight, right? This is like a good in between. It's got a decent enough size so you can get in there and do some brush cutting and stuff like that. The handle's great, super light, man. This thing is awesome. I actually had to go through and do some measurements because this is the first one he made like this, so you know, there's no specs on his website for it. But this is the Ghost XL. It is 80 CRV2 steel. The length from tip the complete length from tip all the way down, I measured it out at lost my page. I measured it out at 17.5 inches. The blade length from the tip to the top of the handle scales, I measured it out at 12 inches. The handle length from the top of the scales right here to the very back, I measured out at 5.5. These aren't exact measurements, guys. I was using a tape measure. I'm not the best at measuring stuff, but these are pretty damn close. The blade width from edge to top is 1 inch. The cutting edge is 11.5 inches, so that from here to the tip I measured was 11.5 inches. The weight on this thing is 13.3 ounces. I mean, so like again, for this size of a blade, that is wicked light. With the sheath, it's 19 ounces overall. So, I mean, you're getting a very cool blade a light blade, a fast blade, if you will. That's going to be good for doing some good general all-purpose chopping and things like that. And you know what? We're going to get into that, guys. We're going to do some chopping. We're going to do some rope cutting. We're going to do some stabbing. And we're going to show off this bad boy, right? So here we go. We got our catalog here. Let's flip this around. So you do have this Tonto style blade, if you will. I'm not sure if this is considered an Americanized Tonto or not. I've heard that term before. Some are really acute, and then some are slightly rounded. I would say this one's a little bit kind of on the rounded side, if you will. But it's a bam. Look at that. We've got about halfway through the catalog there. We can see. Let's come in and do that again. What's nice is you get back on this handle, you can wrap your thumb right over the top like so to give you that extra power to drive it. So the tip's just right here. So we went about halfway through that catalog again. Let's try that one more time. Come over the top. Booyah. Look at that. Got about 3/4 of the way that time. So depending on how much you're putting into it, you can get about 3/4 of the way through here. Let's cut the edge off this catalog right here and let's make a little bit of a mess. Woo! Look at that. Made it snow. Bam. Look at that. No problem. Let's check this edge. Tip. Oh shit, I almost cut myself. Yeah, this thing's sharp, guys. I seriously, like, I don't know. It almost got myself. Tip is fine, no problems. I mean, when I hit that, you heard it. Beep, nothing. Handle, scales, everything is on there good. This is held in place with epoxy and G10, black G10 pins. So there you go. What was I going to do next? Oh, got the leather belt here. You guys want to? So if you had to come in here, maybe cut a leather belt off or do something like that. So you can come in here, do some real light shaving. Look at that. I mean, this thing is just ridiculously sharp. If you had to come in here and do some real light shavings, fine leather, like maybe do leather work, I don't know, maybe you got a big piece of leather you got to cut, but you can almost make fire curls with your leather. But come in here, bam, cut your chunk off that you need to. What's cool is you could always put your thumb over the back to kind of give you that little extra pressure if you need it. No problem. Let's set that down to the side. Let's say you got some. This is hose from a air compressor. This is an old air compressor hose rated at 3,000 psi. It's kind of a fiber reinforced. Stuff's pretty tough. Say you had to cut a piece of this off. Come in there, cut that off, no problem. Say you had to cut that piece down in half. Bam, slice it right in half, no problem. Had to do a little chop the piece off. Boop, there it goes, no problem. You guys have plenty of cutting edge here to do like a long draw if you have to. It's like if you had a piece of this yellow nylon rope and you had to cut this in half, start cutting pieces of this off. You'd always come down here at the very. I only made it to there and it cut it. You know what I mean? Let's do another piece of that. I have another piece somewhere. Oh, there it is. I got stuff everywhere, guys. So again, you had to come in here. Let's go a little higher. Boom. Cut it, no problem. Let's say you had to chop it, had to run it across the bow of your boat and you had to cut it real quick. Bam, there it goes, no problem. Cut right through it. Got this thicker, I don't know what to call this rope, but anyway, one of these days I will remember the name of it. But let's say you had to cut a piece of this off. Come in here, do a little sawing motion. Bam, there you go, cutting it off, no problem. Say you had to chop it, make a mess, no problem, you can do that as well. And let's check this edge real quick, because you know as I'm coming in here hitting this, I'm hitting the wood, right? So we're going to see this edge, see if it's still sharp. And it is still sharp. I don't see any chipping, rolling, or glinting, if you will. See that right there? So, man, cutting through rope, things like that, you're not going to have a problem doing it with this. Especially if you have like larger pieces, you can really come in there and get in there, cut that stuff. Here we have a extension cord. You can see that. This came off of an old air compressor that was broke down, didn't work no more. So, chunk a piece off right there. You had to come in here. It's nice you have your edge that comes all the way up here to this kind of finger choil / guard area. You can get all the way up in there like that. come in here and do some fine work, if you will. If you had to strip this off to, you know, redo the wire somehow, reconnect it, I don't know, solder it together, you can come in here, easily come in, take your pieces off, not a problem. If you had to double this over and cut through it, let's see. So we'll come in here, we'll kind of reverse grip it, bam, right there. Look at that nice clean cut. Not a problem. Cutting through that thick sheath. Oh man, this thing is still stupid sharp. It's kind of scary actually. Sometimes you get knives where you're like, they scare you a little bit because of how sharp they are. Oh, so here we have the fire hose. I mean, okay, this stuff is rough and tough. It's built to go through car wreckage, damage, all that stuff, dirt, grime. I mean, this stuff is definitely tough to cut. It's abrasion resistant. So you had to come in here, stab through. There's the point. Let's go ahead and push this all the way through. Try to do this without cutting myself. So it's through, but I'm trying to figure out a way to go through this and not cut myself. That is one of the, not, I won't say disadvantage to a longer blade, but sometimes it is, because it is longer, you got to find that right angle. And especially if you don't work with a big long blade like this all the time, which I don't, it is a little bit of a learning curve sometimes. So like I said, you always want to be careful. Like, see, like I feel like if I come this way, I run the risk of slipping and cutting myself. So we don't want to do that, right? So no, I mean, I'm sure you guys would probably laugh, but I probably would too after the fact, but I don't feel like going to the hospital today. There we go. So we're all the way through. We're going to kind of rest that on the belly. Bam, there we go. Okay, so once I pushed it through, it sliced through that no problem. I was just being a little awkward with how I got it in there. That's what she said. Yep. Oh, guys, look at that. That just stripped right through that like nothing. That was pretty impressive. This stuff is a pain in the ass to cut. It's very, like I said, cut and abrasion resistant. Still sharp. I'm gonna try something here. Kind of. So if you guys don't know, this fire hose, I've probably seen it in some of my other videos. You have basically this outer layer canvas, this inner layer canvas, and then glued inside of that inner layer is rubber. You can see that there. So I'm gonna fold that kind of over. Fold this right here. Oh yeah, look at that. Just about chopped all the way through that. But that piece is barely hanging on. This piece is barely hanging on. That was pretty good. Look at that. Pretty much chopped all the way through that, which is nice. Sometimes I have difficult times chopping through this with blades. They just doesn't want to chop through it. So let's stand this one up. Let's try it this way. Look at that. Very nice. That's pretty good chopping, especially how floppy this is. For it to chop through it that well. I've done it with bigger, thicker blades. Definitely have a hard time doing that. So that's one of the nice things about the thinness of this is it's thin, but not overly thin. That you still have plenty of strength behind it, but it also lends itself well to chopping into materials like that are kind of floppy. Still sharp. I don't see any edge damage or anything like that as well. Man, that's pretty good. I'm really impressed with that. Now let's say you had to cut some hose. This is your typical pull hose, whatever. It's pretty easy to cut, but you know, just try to simulate maybe some radiator hose cutting or something like that. If you had to come in and pierce with a tip, you can do that, no problem. Drive that tip in there. That's what she said. Yeah, you got two of them today, guys. You're welcome. I don't know. I think I'm always going to have a "that's what she said" joke in my videos. There you go. Cut through that, no problem. Sometimes they just come to me. I'm a comedic genius sometimes. Not really. So now we're going to get onto our wood stuff, right? So here you go. You got, well, this piece is there. So you got a fresh piece there. Test that out, right? Like that, don't you? So if you had to come in here, make some fire curls. You can't, oh, no problem. What's nice, what I like about this is with that length, is I can start here and just draw it, and then it just rolls those curls right up. And the weight of this, even though it's long, I feel like I have, you know, really good control of it. I'm stopping it right here, because sometimes what I do with a bigger, thicker blade is I'll come in and it'll catch, and then all of a sudden I hit and bam, oh, I just cut the fire curls off. Now I got to go looking for them like that. But this, I'm able to, you know, I'm being able to stop it for the most part where I want it, and not cut those curls all the way off, which is very nice, because then, you know, I keep them where I want them. I can put this on the fire, teepee right here, catch it, do whatever. So, you know, can you make fire curls? Sure. If you want to come in here, do like your big slices, you can come in here and do your big slices, and you can see those flying off on the screen there. Or you can rest a piece of wood down here. Actually, get a bigger piece. Like this piece right here. You're going to make some fire curls. Or not fire curls, but shavings. You can come in here and it's nice. You can grab the back of the blade like so. And you can make some longer pieces. And see right here, I hit this knot. Whew, all right, buddy. Everybody, sorry. Had a little camera issue there I had to take care of. Anyway, as I was saying, so you're coming in here. So I held this up. You can tell I kind of got into this knot right here. So I'm going to pry this out like so. Kind of showing you guys the strength, the edge strength, if you will. Bam. Let's check that edge for damage. I'm not seeing any. No problems. But you can kind of come in here, like I said, grab over the top. Do some longer shavings, a little bit more controlled, so you can get those bigger pieces that you might need to get your fire started. Now, if you had to come in here, well, you know what, we're going to stick with this piece. And I think my dog ran off with my baton stick, that son of a gun. Not surprising, that dog loves chewing on sticks, which is probably not a good thing for him. So this is a piece of seasoned almond wood. See that here? Now this is, even though this has the length to go through maybe a bigger log, because of its thinness, I wouldn't suggest doing that. And honestly, if you have a hatchet, an axe, or something like that, definitely use that instead. It's definitely better. But you know, I like putting these things to the test. We're gonna go right here, and we're gonna do some batoning. Stand up for you guys. Bam. There you go. Let's check the straightness of it. That was a thing is straight, no problem. Putting some hard pressure on that edge. It's still sharp. So I wouldn't, this isn't something that I would definitely be going around and batoning through everything. Again, it's thinner. I mean, this is going to be better for, you know, quick stuff like that. You see, I just kind of cut that off. But you could definitely baton through some stuff with it if you had to. But I would use this primarily more for making your shavings, maybe doing some light chopping, if you will. Not necessarily batoning, because batoning does put a lot of stress on the blade, and this is a thinner blade. Wouldn't recommend doing that. I did it for you because I like you guys to see at least the capabilities. So as far as chopping goes, if I don't fall over here, this right here is a board that came off a pallet, right? So we're gonna come right here. I'm just gonna, what is that? Like a nail or a staple in there. So we come right here. We're just gonna chop into it and let's see where it goes. Let's see what happens. That right there, I think, was 20 hits. Pretty good. Bam. There it is. Split that sucker in half. Let's check it out here. That's still sharp, guys. I mean, guys and gals, I know there's some ladies that watch the channel too, and thank you. Appreciate that. Not a problem. Check. We're still straight. handle scales and everything are still on perfectly fine. I mean, guys, this thing, I mean, like I said, this thing's going to be able to do a lot of really good kind of all around camp stuff for you. Look, see that big old piece fly out there? Come here, just do these slices, make that fire. You know, barbecue up some chicken tonight. Look at that. Not a problem. But, of course, I would be remiss. I would not be doing my due diligence if we didn't chop into the 4x4. Guys, we're going to go 30 hits on the 4x4. We're going to see what this 13-ounce blade can do, right? Man, if you got this in the hands of somebody like Tommaso Loss from Tactical Tavern, go follow Tactical Tavern, by the way. Man, that dude, he'd be doing some cool ass American Ninja moves. I'm telling you, I'm gonna go see you, Tomas. I'm bringing this with me. We're gonna watch you go to work with it too. So here we go. I'm gonna go 30 hits. I'm gonna choke back a little bit right here, and we'll just do 30 hits. See what we do. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Look at that. 30 hits with a 13-ounce blade. And it's doing that type of work. That's pretty damn good. Checking the edge again. That's still sharp. I mean, let's see here. My wife hates it when I do this, guys, so I do it for you, though. Look at that. Still shaving the hair off my arm. Now my wife's gonna be like, "You're doing knife videos again, haven't you?" Guys, this thing is just pretty wicked. Is there anything I forgot to cut out here? Hose, yep. Yeah, I think I got it all. All right, guys, the Ghost XL from North Edge Tools. These, I asked Dustin if he's gonna take orders on these. He will. If you want a Ghost XL, go to North Edge Tools. I'll leave a link in the description below, and shoot him a message and say, "Hey, I want a Ghost XL," and he'll make you one. These are not something that he's going to normally produce, but if you order one, he will make it for you. His turnaround time, to me, for being his first one, was pretty good. So definitely keep in mind, if you order one, it might take a few weeks. I'm not exactly sure his timeline, but he will make you one. And I would honestly, I suggest you pick one up, because I mean, this thing is, I'm telling you, when I go hiking, I'm carrying this in my backpack for sure, or I'm going to Baldric carry it. If you have a side-by-side, a Razor Ranger, if you like the 4x4, something like that, definitely worth throwing into your vehicle to have. You know, you might come across some, like I said, like light brush stuff that you have to cut out of the way. You might have bought that brand new GMC 3500 dually 4x4, and you don't want to get it scratched up, and so you got to come in here and kind of clear some brush off the sides of the trail. Not that you'd be going 4x4 with a dually, I'm just saying. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be great work of that. It's going to do light work with wood, ropes, things like that. You're going to be able to handle all that with this. The Ghost XL is pretty damn awesome in my opinion. Guys, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I enjoy making these videos for you, and I hope you enjoy watching them. And sound off in the comments and let me know what you think about the Ghost XL. And if this is something you or your friends would like, go to North Edge Tools and order your one. Dustin will get you set up with a badass blade. Thanks again for watching, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Stay safe, stay sharp. We'll see you next time.